Before there was Captain America, before the Shadow, before Batman, and before even Mighty Superman, there was one comic book character that was made that started the whole thing. That started all the comic book trends, the secret identities, the tight costume, and of course, the ever popular white eyes. Oh, yes. There was one comic book character that started it all. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't actually have the comic book films we have today. Which is mostly being ruined by Marvel, but that's a completely different story. But let's get on with the actual movie review. So, what is today's movie? It is a 1996 adaptation of that particular character. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to pay respects to the Ghost Who Walks, the very original comic book character that started it all, the one, the only, the Phantom.
Trust.
Yes, the Phantom. What a great comic book character. What a character indeed. Now, before we get on with the whole movie review, let me take you back about a month or so. Okay? Last month, during, it was the first week of May, and of course, I didn't notice this at the time because I was having a very bad day. It was Saturday, and I was having a very bad day. You know, doing chores and doing a ton of errands. It was like close to it was like around 4 o'clock. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, it was maybe around 4:15 or so. But either way, I was having a really bad day, and something just popped in my head. It's like, what is Free Comic Book Day? So I picked my phone up, and I looked at my phone, looked it up, and sure enough, it was that very day. I was extremely pissed off. I was so angry that I was missing Free Comic Book Day, amongst all things. Something I was actually looking forward to. And I was so mad. And of course, I should mention I was actually in East Rutherford at the time. So, rather than just being extremely angry, I decided to calm myself down and drive myself from East Rutherford all the way down to North Arlington, and of course get myself some free comic books. Rather than actually spend the whole day and getting free comic books, I was quite literally stuck doing a bunch of goddamn chores that really pissed me off, and I completely missed out on Free Comic Book Day. So here we are. That being said, I went to Paradox Comics within the North Arlington, and these are the comic books I got. I got DC's All In, which is Superman Limited, and there's also Absolute Universe on the other side. The Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Universe. I also got Best of 2000 AD, which of course is the Judge Dredd comic book series. Which, let's face it, folks, we need a character like this. We love this character. I also got Godzilla The New Heroes, which of course is an anthology of several Godzilla storylines, of several Godzilla comic books. It's just a sampling comic book. But one caught my attention, and that was The Phantom. And this is clearly a recreation of the original comic book, but other than that, the art style is all there, and it's definitely all The Phantom, regardless. It's still The Phantom regardless. And what's this? There's actually an a advertisement for the Phantom beat 'em up game that's currently on current consoles right now. That is so cool. So yeah, so I got this. So I got home, cooked dinner, ate it, read some of these. But I particularly read this one back and forth, maybe a couple more times, maybe 3 times, and then it just hit me. I know what film I should probably do one day, and so I got the Blu-ray of the 1996 film The Phantom, which I'm not gonna lie, I do like this movie a lot. This movie came out when I was just a kid. I was 10 years old when it came out, and in actuality, I was actually really 9 when it came out, and my birthday happened in November that year. So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I really did enjoy this movie when I was a kid. So, yeah. It's what I call a textbook comic book movie. And if you want to know the term textbook, I'll do a video on that sometime, but not right now. But there's also some other properties of the fandom as well I actually looked up over the years. One of which was actually a cartoon series called Phantom 2040, which is actually a unique adaptation of the character. And let's look at this design. Well, it's definitely the original design, except he's got silver gauntlets and he's got a silver belt with silver holsters with some laser shit. And it takes place in the future. And is it possible maybe Batman Beyond took inspiration from this? It probably did. Wouldn't be surprising. And also, the fandom was on another cartoon show called Defenders of Earth, which is actually a good show from what I found out. I mean, I haven't watched the show yet, though. I mean, I can watch it on Tubi TV's app anytime I want. But there was another Phantom movie I was not aware of. Now, before I show you what the other movie is I'm talking about, there's another Phantom film that was made, a movie serial, when the comic book was getting popular, and well, movie serials were becoming more popular, so we had a Phantom movie serial. Unfortunately, they didn't utilize the name Kit Walker, and this was like before the Kit Walker name was actually solidified within the franchise. So hardcore fans may be disappointed by that, but other than that, it's actually a good serial from what I'm told. As for the other Phantom film I was talking about, well, where do I begin with this? Not today. Just not today. Nope, not today. I'll probably get to those eventually, but right now, we're going to look at today's film, the 1996 film that was unfortunately a flop at the box office, but became a massive cult hit as time went on. And of course, I really need to ask the nostalgia critic, do you even do your fucking research? Oh wait, you don't. That's surprising. I mean, you do nowadays, but back then you didn't. So, today we're going to look at the Phantom. So the movie begins with a flashback from about 400 years ago, give or take, where we see the pirates from the Sang Brotherhood, which have a weird spiderweb logo for some reason as their symbol, which is kind of weird. Attack a merchant ship, and of course everybody on board is killed, and a young boy is actually and the child of one of the merchants actually swims ashore and is picked up by the Bengali tribe within the country of Bengali. Now, before you say anything else, it's been going back and forth where Bengali actually is, whether it's someplace within South Asia or something, like where India, like somewhere between India and Asia, or it's in Africa. In some media, from what I was able to find out, it was probably in Africa. It was actually in Africa, but that wasn't until much later. But the original source material says it's actually in Asia. So from this point onward, we're just going to say it's around the Asian area, around, say, the South Asian area, like somewhere around the Malaysian islands or something, give or take. I don't know. But either way, the tribe actually performs a ritual and actually grant the boy a powerful ring, and we see these 3 skulls from another tribe called the Skulls of Tuganda. They're extremely powerful, and the skull that they're performing the ritual with is actually a ring skull, and the tribal elder and the tribal person who's doing the dancing is painted up as the Phantom. And so this boy, inspired by the ritual, actually decides to take up the identity and become the first Phantom when he grows up. And cut to 1938, many years later, we see a criminal by the name of Quill in the Bengali jungle with his men, with a kidnapped boy, showing where a cave is. And there's some Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff around here, like some Raiders of the Lost Ark references. Okay, before I go any further, I should mention the writer of Raiders of the Lost Ark also wrote this movie too. Okay? So yeah, there's some similarities between this and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay? But, okay, if you guys want to bitch about it, keep this in mind. If it wasn't for the Phantom, we wouldn't have any of this shit. Not even Raiders of the Lost Ark, so shut up. Got it? Okay, good. So, that being said, the boy tells, after going through some misunderstandings about the map, and of course trying to cross a bridge, having the kid drive a truck for some effed up reason, you know, pretty stupid. Anyway, the kid tells him that they can't be in the forest because it's protected by a ghost who walks. Will actually touches his face. There's actually a skull mark on his face, indicated by the Phantom's ring. Yeah, you know the ring right here. It's indicated that it's actually indentation that the Phantom may have actually punched him there at one point. So it says, "Don't worry, we don't have to worry about that. He's gone." So they get to the cave. And they look for some treasures, but they find the one thing that they were looking for. One of the silver skull of Tuganda. Yeah, they find one of the skulls. And one of the treasure seekers gets killed by a dead statue for some reason. It's never explained why. It's just random. It just happens. Like, he's dead. The damn thing just came alive and choked him to death. Let's get out of here. Really? Yeah. Anyway, tribal drums play off, and the Phantom actually overhears it. The Phantom overhears it, and so the Phantom and his dog Devil and his horse come racing right in, and we get a chase sequence between the thieves and the Phantom. And of course, Quill and the others are scared. You can make fun of this scene all you want, though, and with the whole purple costume, but here's some fun facts. Actor Billy Zane, who plays the Phantom here, he actually got jacked up for the role. Yeah, he actually put on a lot. He got so beefed up for the role, he put a lot of effort into the role, too. Seriously, he bulked up for the role. He learned He learned how to fight. He learned how to fence. He learned everything there was about the Phantom. So by the time they actually got him in costume, they originally were going with a muscle costume that they used for Batman. But the thing is, he got so beefed up for the role, they decided to go for the skin tight costume instead, which was, in my opinion, much more appropriate. Yeah, so to make it more authentic. And here's another fun fact too. Well, here's the thing. The Phantom's coloring is all purple. I know some people have actually made fun of it, including the nostalgia critic making fun of it. Well, here's a bit of a fun fact a lot of people didn't realize. That the first color issue of the comic, the costume was blue. Yeah. Now, the creator actually said that the costume was always purple, but when they actually got the first colored edition, it was blue. Yeah, apparently the purple ink was too expensive at the time, so they went with blue instead. Right, so if you see like toy figurines of the Phantom in a blue costume, and his underoos are supposed to be like red and black stripes rather than silver and black. Yeah, keep this in mind. That's actually the first color design of the Phantom. Which, joking aside, the fans actually do like that color. Actually, really don't mind that color scheme. They actually do kind of like it. Right, I myself am a fan, and to be fair, when I think about the Phantom, the purple coloring is the first thing that comes to mind. The blue color scheme doesn't look that bad, personally, but if I'm going to go with either purple or blue, I'll stick with the purple. But to be fair, if you actually have some of the original comics with the blue Phantom color, with the blue color scheme, hold on to those. Those things are worth a lot of money. So, eventually the Phantom stops Quill and actually detains most of Quill's men, but Quill escapes and the Phantom rescues the boy after the truck almost blows up with him inside of it, though. But he saves the boy. The one thing that actually bothered the Phantom was he actually noticed that there was actually a tattoo on Quill's arm that was that of the same Brotherhood, and he also noticed there was actually an imprint of a skull ring on him, on his cheek. So he goes back to his cave and gets healed up, and he looks up as he's being healed up. He's looking at research on the skulls of Tuganda, and he says it's not really. And he says that the same Brotherhood may actually be behind all of it too. And we see the fact that he's also talking to his father, who was actually the original Phantom before him. Now and here's how everything works with the Phantom. All right, it's actually it's a generational thing that's passed on from father to son, father to son. So here's the thing: Quill actually killed the Phantom years ago. He actually told his men that he killed the Phantom years ago, but now he's back. Which of course he's freaked out about it, and he still can't figure it out. Of course, we later find out the fact that it's not the current Phantom, but the other Phantom he killed, hence Kit's father. So Kit is talking to his father, who's actually a ghost, who basically gives him a back and forth talk, and he finds out that the Sang Brotherhood was behind all of it, or so he thinks. Like, the tattoo is there, but the Sang Brotherhood in reality have nothing to do with it, though. But he's assuming that the Sang Brotherhood has something to do with it. Back in the... we actually go straight... Now, we cut to New York City, where we see our lead female actress... our lead female character, Diana Palmer, who Kit actually knows from college a long time ago. From a long time ago. Her family is throwing a party for some of the rich elites because her uncle owns Mr. Palmer owns a newspaper company, and of course the main villain of the whole movie, criminal entrepreneur Xander Drax come in. Yes, Xander Drax, and he's played by Treat Williams, and Treat Williams is, such a treat. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to tell you honestly right now. One of the things I remember the most as a kid while watching this movie was Treat Williams as the main villain, Xander Drax. He is... Oh my God, he is the best part of the whole fucking movie. Okay, don't get me wrong. Billy Zane does a great job as the Phantom, but Treat Williams as the main villain? Oh, wow. He is all over the place. And you can tell Treat Williams was actually having fun playing the character, too. Okay, all joking aside, everybody who was involved making this movie had a great time. They all admit they all had a great time working on this movie. They all had fun. They actually enjoyed making the movie. It's just really sad that the movie didn't actually do well at the box office, though, and they didn't make the sequels as intended. But seriously, you can tell they were having fun with the movie. And Treat Williams' performance is completely obvious. He is just so into the character. It's like, I'm just here to do my thing. Oh, come on now. Maybe I should buy your newspaper. What do you think about that? Everything's for sale. Not everything's for sale, Xander Drax. Oh, no. Everything is for sale. It just has a different form of price tag. So yeah, Diana's uncle actually tells her, the mayor, and of course the police chief, who's actually working for Xander. We find out a little bit later. We actually find out literally the next scene later that he's actually looking for more information about the Sang Brotherhood and something about the skulls of Wakanda. So he was gonna make a trip down to Bengali, where the source of everything was. But he's not doing so well. He's not doing well physically. So instead, Diana takes his place. Which, of course, Xander Drax actually has some mob members looking after her for a while, though, until she gets on the plane and goes. That's when we see. Then she gets on the plane. Where, of course, Xander Drax takes out the librarian, who was actually giving him all the information. Who was giving giving Diana's uncle all the information, and he takes him out in a semi-goofy, I would say a kind of a ridiculous way, by jabbing his eyes out with a freaking with blades inside of a microscope. Everybody thought it was going to be a really graphic scene, but it's not. It's really stupid. Now, all we see is the guy turning the knob. His eyes are right there, and we see what was actually within the microscope. It's just a little paper that says "liar" on it, and the blades come up and shoot him in the eye. Shoot him in the eyes, but it's all off stream, so we don't see it. Diana gets kidnapped by a bunch of air pirates, and the leader is named Sala, who's played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. If you want to make a bunch of Catherine Zeta-Jones jokes, put them in the comments. All right, all I can say is she's kidnapped by current Morticia Adams. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going. So she gets kidnapped and she's taken to Quill. Now the main colonel who's in charge of the Bengali jungle actually finds out about it, though, and the Phantom pays him a visit. And of course, he tells the Phantom. Phantom obviously knows who Diana Palmer is because he knows her as Kit Walker when he's Kit Walker. So he goes to the pirate base he goes to the base and actually rescues Diana. We get a creative fight sequence between the Phantom and the goons, and of course some hilarious misunderstandings with all the air raid pirates who are all female. When he jumps down to a laundry suit, he's really in the middle of Sala and Diana Palmer, and he goes, "This is a ship full of women? Seriously? All my pirates are women." Huh. That explains a lot. Diana knocks around. They actually escape, and where the Phantom actually fights off a majority of the pirates. They escape through a plane, and from a plane they jump onto the Phantom's horse, and they give chase further, where one of the local tribes actually helps the Phantom escape. The Phantom was able to get Diana to his cave, where she's now safe, and where they actually meet the general. Where they meet the colonel she was supposed to visit, and she gives him the information that she was looking for. And of course, it's about the Sang. And of course, it's the symbol of the Sang Brotherhood. The Phantom tells the general to get her back to New York and make sure she gets a safe escort, which of course she actually does. She's not happy about it, but of course she's safe. Meanwhile, the Phantom goes to New York as Kit Walker to talk to Diana, which of course they're now happy to see each other. Even though it's been several years, he does explain later on that he had to leave for a reason. That it was a family emergency, that his father died, and he had to take over the family business, so he had no choice, and it was really all last minute. Shame, really. Yeah. There's this one guy that's been trying to get into Diana's pants for a long while. He's kind of an ass, and through the scene, we never see him again later on. But basically, Kit Walker tells Diana and her uncle about the skulls of Taganda and what the hell they're all made out of, though. And the guy who's been trying to hit on Diana goes, "Oh wait, I saw one of those skulls." What? Yeah, but it wasn't silver, like the one you were talking about. The one I saw was green with red eyes. The Jade Skull. Wait, where was this? Hold on, let me think. The Museum of Natural History. Okay. So Diana and Kit are on the way to the Museum of Natural History, where this cabby guy, actually, I think he needed more screen time, honestly, though. He's an okay character, though. His name is Al, and he actually becomes Kit's driver for a while. Because Kit gave him some actual jewels, because he didn't actually have American currency. He had Bengali currency. So anyway, Xander Drax actually meets Quill. He gets the first skull. He and Sal and Quill actually tell the rest of the organization what the hell they're really looking after. They're actually trying to get the skulls to Taganda, and he knows exactly where the second skull location is. But of course, the head mobster says, "No, I'm not doing this. This whole thing's stupid. Come on, let's go. Come on, Charlie, let's go." And Charlie's his younger brother. He goes, "Nah, man, you're on your own. I'm actually in on this." Bullshit. "I'm out, Drax." Okay. Drax just pulls and grabs a spear and throws it at the guy as he's about to leave the room. And kill him instantly. Dude, this guy is so ridiculous, but he's so... My God, he's so entertaining to watch. Seriously, Treat Williams is such a fucking treat in this movie. I love him. Seriously, I fucking love the guy in this movie. Alright? Now, don't get me wrong, I also love him in the substitute film sequels, but in this movie, oh my God, he just takes up the screen every time he's on it. Oh, good God, he's all over the place, I swear to God. He's so entertaining, though. But even after he pulls the spear out of the wall, after he kills the guy, they pulls it out, the guy falls to the floor. It's like, the wood job? This is a stroke. Yeah, I scratched up the wood job. I gotta get it patched up. Dude, you just... Never mind. So Diana and Kit actually do make it to... they actually do make it to the museum. They see the skull is right there. And of course, Kit bitches about it, saying that, okay, the skull is actually part of the Spanish treasury item. It's, okay, wrong century, wrong hemisphere, just everything is wrong. So apparently the second skull wasn't just lost, it was just misplaced. I should also mention during Kit's research, he also found out that the skulls of Taganda were extremely powerful, and that the same Brotherhood were actually the reason why they actually wiped out the Taganda tribe. They took the skulls, but at some point, they actually separated the skulls and separated them from all, and they actually just hid them around in different locations. The one location where the silver one was where Quill found it. And somehow the jade one wound up somewhere, it just wound up being misplaced. As for the gold one, it's still missing. So why did the same Brotherhood do that? There's a good reason why, but I have to explain it a little bit later. Meanwhile, how is Kit gonna get the thing out of the display? He picks up one of those guardrails and throws it at the glass, breaking it. Which is pretty hilarious because Diana is explaining everything what they could try doing, trying to get the skull. He just breaks the damn glass, and she just goes, "Or you just break the glass." So he grabs it, but unfortunately, Quill and Drax are both right there. It's like, "I'll take that, thank you." Puts it in with the other skull, and he goes, "Museum security, folks. Please head over to the nature exhibit. We have sandwiches for the little ones. All right, go on, bring the little ones. Go. Yes, thank you." Now, what the hell do you want with that skull? Oh, I thought it would look nice. Drax, what? The bag is smoking. The bag is literally smoking. The two skulls, they get fused together real quick, and ridiculous special effects, and yeah, Treat Williams chews up the whole scenery with his acting, which is by far the best thing in the whole scene. And then, yeah, the skulls use their laser eyes to actually show the location where the last skull is, which is somewhere in the South Asian Sea area, though. Nobody knows where the hell it is. So it's in an unknown location. So they take Kit back. So they take Kit Diana to his office. Al actually follows them because he knows there's something wrong. They try to get information out of Kit. He's denying everything, of course. And so he has Quill take him upstairs to take care of him. But while they're taking him up there, Kit actually notices that Quill actually has the same belt and gun holsters that his father that he has. So it's clearly his father's. So yeah, Quill actually kept it as a souvenir, knowing that he killed the Phantom. Eventually, Kid escapes. He makes his way up to the machinery room, dons the costume, and starts fighting off the bad guys again. Quill escapes and actually heads back down to Drax. Meanwhile, Drax and Sala actually make a discovery that the skulls actually point out to a location called the Devil's Vortex, which is just an area within the southern, which is some area between the Pacific and Indian Ocean that ships keep disappearing. Nobody knows why. So Drax believes there's actually an island there. So he gets Richie, that takes Diana, and they head over, and they decide to get over there until Quill tells them that the Phantom's in the building. So he tells the police. So Drax tells the police chief to have his men look out for the Phantom. They make their way out while the Phantom makes his way down the elevator shaft and runs out of the building. I really need to cut off sooner or later. Makes his way out of the building. Eventually meets up with Al, but of course Al's a little freaked out by him until the cops chase after him, and the Phantom goes from car top to car top, steals a horse, makes his way to the zoo, to the Central Park Zoo, where a couple of cops are looking for him in there, and they lose him because he was actually hiding in the tiger exhibit. Yeah, he comes out and he pets the tiger like, good girl. Yeah, the tiger is a very fierce animal, but the tiger just looks at him like, that's a good girl. What? Yeah, I should probably mention the Phantom kind of may have took some inspiration from Tarzan with like the whole being kind to animals routine, because because his dog Devil is actually a wolf, and he's really good with horses. So yeah, he's like the animal whisperer. I should also mention too, the guy is actually physically stronger than a normal human. Like, you know how strong Batman is by comparison? Like, how strong Batman is to a regular human person? To a regular human? Yeah. The Phantom probably came up with that. he probably took that inspiration from the Phantom because he's physically stronger than a normal human. Yeah. And keep this in mind, the Phantom is actually 6'3", 6'4" in the comics, and he weighs somewhere between 200 and 240 pounds, but he's mostly pure muscle, and he is quick, agile, and super strong for a human. Yeah, it is just utterly ridiculous. I mean, to be fair, who would actually win in a fight between him and Tarzan? Because Tarzan's physically stronger than a human, than a normal one, because he was raised by apes. Actually, joking aside, I think the family actually win because he does use guns. Yeah. Seriously, what do you think these are? He's using guns. So yeah. But I don't want to piss off any Tarzan fans, so let's move on. So eventually Al meets up with the Phantom and actually drives him over to the docks. So where Drax is heading. Where Drax is heading. And of course, Kit's father comes in Phantom form and goes for him and tells him what actually happened with him and Quill. So yeah, it turns out Quill killed his father years ago and stole his belt for a trophy. For a trophy. And of course, I should mention that they're looking at that while this is happening, only Kit can see him, and they think he's a little crazy, but to be fair, it's sort of a spiritual lineage thing that is passed on from father to son. So the whole talking to a dead parent routine is, yeah, it's clearly something that that's actually part of the lineage. So, moving on. So eventually, Al actually gets him to the dock, where of course they have a seaplane to take him to the Devil's Vortex. The Phantom jumps into the water and swims over and gets onto the plane, but he stays on the outside of the plane as it's traveling. They make it to the Devil's Vortex, and Drax is pleased because there is an island there for him. Oh joy! So they land a plane. The Phantom dives off and actually tries to and makes his way to the island secretly. And as Drax's crew gets there, who meets them? The Sang Brotherhood meets them. Oh, joy. I need a break. The pirates actually take Drax's crew, and of course they want to actually do something a little sexual to Diana, but of course Sala is actually trying to protect her. So yeah, at some point Sala was actually, she actually wants to protect Diana because she fears that they should probably stick together because they're women, and of course, yeah, you know. Plus, to be fair, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones, so I'm just gonna let that one slide. Anyway, they do actually make it. They actually are brought to the great leader, to their leader, the Great Kabai Sang, or the current Kabai Sang. The Quill actually shows them the tattoo, saying he's actually with them, and they should trust him and Drax. So they take him to the Great Kabai Sang, who is played by Hiroki Tagawa. Yes, Shang Tsung himself is the Great Kabai Sang. And okay, that's another good treat as well. I mean, that's another great treat. We have another great actor in this movie, and of course, he's working alongside with Treat Williams' questionable great acting skills here. Which, let's face it, is like the best part of the whole fucking movie. Oh yeah, Drax tries to convince them all that with the, and yeah, he shows them that they actually have the Jade and Silver Skull, and where's the third skull, the Gold Skull? It's right by Kabai Sang's throne. Anyway, he says they want the skull and they can just rule the world. Kabai Sang shuts them down completely, but he actually threatens to kill everybody right there on the spot. Because it turns out that the skulls are extremely powerful, and also without the fourth skull, they're uncontrollable. Yeah, you heard it right. So, here's the thing: the legend of the Skulls of Tugana only lists 3 skulls. However, the thing is, nobody knew the fact there was actually a 4th skull. Right? Now, the Sang Brotherhood figured this out a long time ago. They found out that the skulls are too powerful, and they separate the skulls on purpose, because they didn't want the rest of the world to actually know about the power of these damn things, because if anything, it could destroy the entire world. And they had no idea where the 4th skull was, or they had no idea where the 4th skull location was, and they couldn't even figure out where the hell who had it or anything. So they separated the original 3 skulls. on purpose. So that's kind of weird knowing that the villains actually did something good for a change, just to keep their asses safe, but they did the rest of the world a favor. Okay. While all this is going on, the Phantom is on top of the rafters, and Sala happens to notice it though, but she keeps quiet because she knows that he's going to attack them, and it'll be a chance for her and Diana to escape. So, and of course, Richie decides to take matters into his own hands by threatening Cowboy saying, only to have him get shot by a fucking cannon. Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me just check something real quick. Just give me a minute, because I've been calling the guy Richie because of the fact that the actor who plays him is also the same actor who plays Richie from The Sopranos. Oh, it's not Richie at all. It's Charlie. Yeah. Why did I call him Richie? Because like I said, he plays Richie in The Sopranos. You know, the guy who came in season 2, who was trying to dethrone Tony, and Tony's sister wound up killing him in the end of season 2. Yeah, the guy was just a freaking nut job. So yeah, he gets killed immediately. And of course, they were about to kill off the rest of everybody. Well, Quill tries to tell them he's part of the same Brotherhood himself, and tries to convince them they could join the forces because he's killed the Phantom before. However, Cowboy Singh shuts him down again because he knows one of the biggest secrets of the Phantom, of why he keeps coming back, because they killed the Phantom several times before in the past. And he knows the Phantom's greatest secret. That's when the Phantom shows up and starts fighting them all. Yeah, the Cowboy Singh Brotherhood tries to fight off the Phantom, but he kicks all their asses. But eventually, now Quill and Drax actually take their 2 skulls and escape, while the Phantom grabs the gold skull and he fights off the Singh Brotherhood, while Sala is protecting Diana. And of course, and we actually get a sword fight between Cowboy Singh and the Phantom, and it's a pretty even back and forth fight. I mean, one of his men gets in front of him and he kills the guy right there on the spot. No, this is my kill, my fight. And he's about to do the final blow to the Phantom. He goes, I know your secrets, Phantom. Oh, really? He thrusts at him, only to actually get tossed into a little riverbed with sharks, and he gets eaten alive by the sharks. And we do hear the Phantom say probably a decent line. He goes, "Take him to your grave, Cowboy. Take him to your grave." Now now the rest of the pirates actually about to storm the Phantom. He takes out his gun. Oh shit! I forgot the magazines. Anyway, Sala cuts down the rope and he traps all the pirates. So the Phantom, Sala, and Diana make their way down to the harbor. Make their way down to the machinery room, and they see some small submarines with some torpedoes, which explains all the ship disappearances over the years. Yeah, that explains a lot. So the Phantom actually puts them both into the submarine because it's a little too small for him. So he puts them in the submarine and gets it ready to launch, only to be attacked by Quill. So during the struggle, he drops the gold skull and he fights off Quill, while Drax picks up the gold skull, and all 3 of the skulls actually start floating together and merge back together as the 3 main skulls. Drax tries to hold on to it though, and they start shooting a laser beam at one of the walls, showing their power. Meanwhile, Quill tries to get the advantage on the Phantom, only to actually have the Phantom beat the living shit out of him. Yeah, it's like, I killed you once before I can kill you again. So, to be fair, this is a pretty cool... The way the Phantom says this line is pretty damn cool the way he says it, though. He just grabs him by the throat and holds him over against the wall and says, "No, you killed my father." He basically beats him down and he says, "You have something in mind?" And he grabs his father's gun belt and holds him up. He yells at Of course, Quill yells at Drax. Drax turns and actually is shooting the damn lasers around, only to actually hit Quill, and he turns to dust immediately. Quill's dead by Drax's hands by accident. And of course he goes, "These things are more incredible. My power greater than the sun. Who the hell needs the Force Skull if it ever did exist? The Phantom then drops another line that just goes, "I do. In fact, I actually know where it is." What? You know where the hell it is? Oh yeah. It's funny. I've actually known about it for the whole time. I've actually worn it all my life for protection. I just never figured it out till now. What a cheap jungle trick! He shoots the lasers at the Phantom, he dodges them. I should mention while he was fighting Quill, like he did launch the submarine, and it's taking a while for it to go through because there's a chain that's holding the submarine, and it's going through. And it's just taking a while for the chain to get through. Anyway, he shoots the lasers at the Phantom, and the Phantom holds his ring up, and the lasers come out of the ring. So, yeah. The fourth skull of Tuganda is the Phantom's ring. This whole time, the Pirates of the Sang Brotherhood, who are the enemies of the Phantom, kill the Phantom all the time when usually they meet him, but they did. And at the time when they found the skulls in Tuganda, they had no idea that the Phantom's ring was somehow related to the skulls. That it was the fourth skull. But you can tell me next that there was a fifth skull, and it's actually the skull on the Phantom's belt, buckle. Actually, that wouldn't be surprising if that really was the case. So, yeah. We get a back and forth little laser thing going between the Phantom and Drax's three skulls laser. But, yeah, the Phantom pushes the laser all the way back, and Drax is like, just holding the skulls like a madman. And he has this ridiculous thing. It's like, and the laser just hits the skulls, and they all explode, and he blows up laughing. It's like, he blows up in a fiery flame, and he just laughs his ass off. Like, okay, seriously, how else did you see this guy going out? How else could you see this guy go out? Oh, the chain. Oh, by the way, the submarine's chain actually breaks. The Phantom grabs the chain. They make it away. They make it safely. They make it out safely. As the entire island explodes, killing the rest of the Sang Brotherhood. At some point later on, the Phantom, they do make it back to Mingala, where the Phantom tells Diana everything of what happened between the Phantom's lineage, the whole father and son thing. And he tells her that, well, there's only one way she can tell her, he only reveal his identity to. And that's the person who he intends to marry. In this case, it's Diana. He reveals himself, and of course, she doesn't accept his marriage proposal yet. But she will, eventually. It's hinted that she will marry Diana, that she will marry Kit, and they will have a son who will later carry on the lineage. But anyway, Diana gets back with Sala, they actually fly away, and the Phantom continues his patrol in the jungle. And that is the end of the movie. Now, what can I say about this movie? I like it. Yeah. I mean, as an adult, I decided to watch it again. Like, I saw it again last month as an adult, and I was just like, I felt like a kid again watching this. I'm in my late 30s right now, and I'm watching a movie that I saw when I was like 9 years old. And I just fucking loved it. As an adult, I still love this fucking movie. Alright? So, do I recommend you all to watch it? Well, if you're into superhero films, then yeah, I do kind of recommend watching it. I mean, to be fair, the next superhero film that's coming out right now is the new Superman movie next month, and yeah, I am actually waiting for that one. I'm just hoping James Gunn didn't fuck it up. But all joking aside, this is a character that's actually beloved by many people. His comic book line is extremely legendary, and keep this in mind, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the current comic books we have today. Or the comic book films we have today. So, isn't it all possible we should get another Phantom film? Like a legit Phantom film that takes place back in the past? You know what? All serious joking aside, this is a character that deserves a lot more, and he does need to be brought back eventually. So, yeah. I do highly recommend this movie. I also recommend the serial, the movie serial, the cartoon series, the cartoon show, the series, this. I'll get to that some more. I can't talk about it now. Anyway, I have to go now. So hope you all take care. If you're Frank,